Hello again, folks. I'm going to do some more cuttings with some more of these figs that I've got right here. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fig cuttings right there. And this, like I say, was from a job that I did, and the tree had to be removed. And I'm going to take some cuttings of these figs tonight, and I'm going to put them into this pot right here. And if you just look, I've had these fig cuttings set into water, and if you just look at the lenticels right there, they've started to swell up a little bit. That one especially has started to swell up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give these a little bit of a trim, and then I'm going to get some more cuttings taken. So I'm just going to go below that node right there. So if I just get a hold of it, bring it close, you can see I'm going below a node there. So I'll just cut that right there, and that leaves us with this cutting right here. And as you can see, there is some swellings on some of those lenticels right there, which are those little knobbles that you see. So I'm just going to simply insert this into this pot of seed compost mixed with some coir, and I'm just going to push that into the soil right there. And I'm just going to carry on, and I'm going to do the same with these other ones and see if I can grow myself some figs. Now, I've never done this before, so I'm trying a few different methods that I've looked up. I've looked up the method where you saw it under the jar, and I've got one coming, and then you've also saw that other one that it is growing, but I don't like the nature of it. I prefer it to have these points on the very top. So I'm going to take a cutting of this one as well. So again, I'm just going to go just below that node right there and just give that a little bit of a cut. So if I just get a hold of it better, I'll just cut that again so it's nice and clean, because it's a bit difficult to do it with one hand. But there we go, just below the node. So we'll just cut that there, and again I'm just going to insert this into the soil like so. Getting a little bit of water on the floor there, oops. But I'm going to carry on and just do another one. And again, there's some really nice looking bits of growth coming there, which I'm hoping might actually turn into something. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to insert it as it is. It has already been cut below the node, and there is some swellings on some of the lenticels there. So again, I'm just going to push this in, but I'm going to leave this little bit of area which looks like it's going to turn into some new growth. Can you see those little buds there? So I'm going to push this into the soil like so, and just leave those bits sticking out. So we'll just go as low as that and leave that one sticking out right there, and hopefully there'll be some other growth comes from this bit right here. So there's another one there, and again I'm just going to bring over another one, and again there's not quite as many swollen lenticels on this one, but there is areas where growth maybe might come from, those little swellings right there. So that could turn into some roots. Again, it's been cut below a node there. So I'm just going to push this into the soil like so. Get it right down in there like so, and just maybe spin that around so it's towards the center, which you'll see why in a minute I'm doing that. But again, another cutting here, swellings on the lenticels. That one looks really nice and white, that one there, so that is very likely going to turn into a root. So we'll get this one put into the soil as well. So just push that into there, and there is two more. So we'll bring over this one, and there is a little bit of signs of some lenticel swelling. See that little white spot there? So again, I'm just going to push this into the soil there, and there's a final one in the very centre here, and again signs of some possible growth on those lenticels, which is lovely. So I'm just going to push that one into the middle there, like so, and then I'm going to try to keep the humidity up, or I am going to keep the humidity up. So I'll just change hands there for a second. Got a little plastic bag here, and I'm just going to put this plastic bag carefully over the top of these cuttings, and keeping the humidity high on them is something that is quite important. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to do this with one hand, but I'll try my best to hold you nice and steady so it's focused, so you can see what I'm doing, and at the same time just get this bag pulled over the top there. So I'm just going to have to change hands to do it, but I'll just gently pull it out so it's the way I want it to be. Almost done. There we go. And that will keep the humidity up on these little cuttings that I've just took right there. And in the future we'll come back and we'll see how these are getting on and whether they've actually rooted in and started to grow. But as time goes by, I might have to change the plastic bag there because it really is quite close to the cuttings. But I'm going to arrange it so it's suspended up away from them, and then I'm just going to either put a little bit of tape around the bottom there, or affix something that's going to hold it in place, or I might get a different clear bag and something that's a bit larger, but you get the idea. And the next time that I show you this, we'll see how these cuttings have got on. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 I think in total, was it? I forget now, but there's a nice amount in there, 8 I think, so that's something to be getting on with. So there's some fig cuttings in there, and I've done this exactly the same way but in a larger pot with some larger cuttings, and I've put them outside in my garden just to see if they work just being outside. But I'm trying a few different methods. Got this bag for these fig cuttings right here, and there's also this one which I showed you in my other little video there, which I accidentally pressed the button so I cut you off, so I'm sorry about that. But there is another cutting right there, another little fig, and to keep the humidity up I've just got this little jar over the top. And there's also this one which I've done in the same manner as that one right there, with a larger jar on that pot over there. But there's another fig cutting coming here, and this one has grown quite nice. But like I say, this one was a different way of doing it, where I've took the top off and encouraged growth to come from the side, but that might actually cause it a weakness in the future. But this is something I'm going to plant in the garden at home, and if it just gets to the point where I can take more cuttings to grow more fig trees or grow another one, then that's all well and good. But there's a fig there, and there's also a fig there, and then there's these ones down here as well. So I'll let you know how I get on with them in due course, everybody. Catch you again on the next one. Have a lovely day.